All right, so I get it, right? Like Liverpool have been the best team this season. Arguably the most informed team. They've only won what? They've only lost one game all season. Only conceded two goals. Defensive setup, great, right? So I can understand the confidence. I can understand why they feel like this is really not going to be a game. It's really going to be, you know, just a walk in the park, essentially. I think Hussam on his channel said, the harder games start after the Chelsea game, which, look, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. I just feel like that's just a little bit of disrespect being attached to our name. Like if you look at the last, I don't know, 9, 10 games between Chelsea and Liverpool last season when we lost 4-1 at Anfield, like that was kind of the anomaly from the typical results we've been getting in these games. A lot of these games always end in draws. Like even if it's a Carabao FA Cup final, these games always end in draws and we go to penalties. And Liverpool typically, they usually win. But I'm just looking at it from a perspective of like, you look at the teams we've had over the years when we've lost to Liverpool, right? You look at the forward line, you look at the midfield options, you look at the midfield balance, you look at I feel like we've had better defensive players over the years, but usually those games come down to like you taking that one opportunity and the game is lost. So you look at our front line from now to last season. You got Sterling, Mudryk, um, Cole Palmer as your false nine against Liverpool. What is Palmer really going to do in that game? You know what I mean? This season, the attacking options are different. You got Jadon Sancho, who Don will call him the snake charmer because the guy knows how to really unlock certain defenses. He's got the ability to beat his man, and the weight of pass is usually typically always right. You got Noni, who's in some good form, confident, has definitely massively improved. You can see his take ons, the success in his take ons. He's adding a bit of like end product to his game as well. He's getting goals. I think he's got like 6 goals already in all comps this season, if I'm not mistaken. Palmer is going to be Palmer. He's going to have quiet games, but he can still be effective in those quiet games. Jackson started the season off really well. So we have, to me, I think we have an improved forward line, like more than what we had last season when we lost that game badly. Um, and we're playing some decent football. Like I think this season we're always going to concede. So at the end of the day, Liverpool are always going to get a goal in this game. But it's just the way this game is being like touted to go. It's seeming like it's going to be so one-sided, and I just can't understand it. But again, look, if this is your opinion, this is your opinion. I cannot wait till we get a result, whether it's a win or a draw. Because again, leaving Anfield with a draw is not the worst result in the world. Leaving Anfield with just one goal conceded, I'm taking that shit. With a point, I'm taking that. Preferably I want all three. But if I only get 1 point, I'm taking 1 point and I keep it moving. But going into this game, Maresca has said everyone is fit, bar the guys who have been suspended. So, i.e., Cucurella and Fofana. But I think in this game, unless Maresca has a different idea in his head, I think the most anticipated, players to come in for Vega. I mean, for Cucurella is going to be Vega. Tosin is going to come in for Fofana. And one thing, people have spoken on, and I very much agree with, is Vega and Tosin give you some more height when it comes to defending and attacking set pieces in both boxes. Vega can still play the ball on the ground, reads the game really well. So can Tosin. Tosin can play those, line breaking passes into midfield. Arguably, you could say even a bit better than Fofana. Tosin also has good recovery pace. He's got those long legs, so he's eating ground. You know what I mean? And he's a decent defender. Like Tosin looks like one of those guys who will come in and on most match games will give you a solid 6 and keep it stepping. His improvement might be like 7 and 8, but I think Tosin is going to be a steady Eddie. Nothing too crazy, but the team I see Maresca going with has been virtually the same team we've seen in the last 7 games or so. Sanchez and go, Gusto right back. Tosin comes in to replace Fofana. Cole as your left center back. Your left back is going to be Vega. Um, in midfield, see the argument for me is if Lavia is fit, I bring Lavia into this game because I'm looking at that Liverpool midfield and they have they have mobility. They have people who can actually move with the ball. Gravenberg can, he when he's kind of sliding through defenses, he's looking like a regen of Yaya Toure to a much lesser extent. But he glides around that midfield, carries the ball well, strong, can pass the ball. So you need somebody to be able to combat Gravenberg's attributes. For me, you bring Lavia in alongside Caicedo, you show up that midfield. Lavia is your first phase guy, press resistant as hell, can punch the ball into midfield, can find runners as well. Defensively, he's solid, is on it, and he got the legs to cover ground and help Caicedo. I think he's gonna go with Enzo, and for me, this game Enzo will have to play a bit deeper for me. I don't want Enzo being like one of the eights alongside Palmer. Let Enzo be, in the first phase, dictating play, getting on the ball a lot. You want Enzo to be the guy who controls the tempo of your game. Me personally, again, like I said, I'll go with Lavia, but I think he goes Caicedo. Enzo, your attacking four, I think it's going to remain unchanged. Noni, Palmer, Jadon Sancho, Nicholas Jackson. You're going to have Felix, Nkunku, Mudryk, Neto on the bench. I think you'll probably see Disasi on the bench as well. Lavia is going to be on the bench. I think he picks from either Dewsbury Hall, or Carney. These guys are going to be the bench options. But I want to touch on something positive is even if we're losing this game, you can turn to the bench and see what Nkunku can bring you off the bench. You see what a Neto off the bench can offer you. You know what, Felix has been a bit disappointing, yes, but we know that the talent Felix has. Felix is a quality player, and again against a team like Liverpool, he can be able to find those pockets in midfield, find the space, be able to create, take a shot, get a goal. I mean, having these guys off the bench is not going to be a bad thing. Imagine Noni running at Robinson or Simicast for about 70 minutes or so, and then you go, all right, Neto, now you come on and just apply the pressure. Don't let these guys get out the half. Imagine Sancho has got Trent moving so bulky that now he brings Mudryk in to stretch that field. Now, I heard Hussam say something like most Chelsea guys are looking at this with a glass half full for Chelsea and empty for Liverpool. I think the argument can be made based on the fact that Liverpool are, expected to be the better team. So if like the expectation is Liverpool are going to win this game. So if you're looking at it from an underdog perspective, you're going to see the possibilities that you end up taking something out of this game. That's why it comes off as, half glass full for Chelsea and empty for Liverpool, because Liverpool are the overwhelming favorites. We haven't beaten Liverpool in Anfield since 2001. Mason Mount got that winner. So again, you guys are the favorites. You're the most informed team. You're the best team in the league right now. So again, as a Chelsea fan, we're going to come into this game saying, you know what? Everyone is already expecting you to win this game. We have to come in and show that we can take a result. So we have to look at all these elements potentially going right for us, because we already know the expectation is those elements go right for Liverpool throughout this game. And that's just what it's going to be. But my honest prediction for this game, I think it's going to be a draw. Both teams can win it. You look at Liverpool's record. I mean, it's solid as hell. I'm trying to look at a weakness in their team. Like, where can we get the most joy? I think maybe Robertson and Trent. If you attack those fullbacks, you might be able to get more joy. Because going central through Konate and Van Dijk could be a bit steep. But this is why you have Jackson. Jackson fits this game perfectly. You play Nkunku in a game like this, I think he gets isolated. Van Dijk legit just picks up Nkunku, and then that's it. He's out of the game. But Jackson gives you a bit of variety. He can go out wide. He can drop deeper, drag Van Dijk or Konate out of that hole, create the space for someone like a Noni to run into, Sancho to run into, a Palmer to run into. Hence why Jackson for me is going to be very important in this game. Um, but yeah, my honest prediction is going to be a 1-1 draw. Um, if anything, I'll say a 2-2 draw. Again, any team can win it. Liverpool can win it. They're the overwhelming favorites. But I like to think we can have something to say. So that's been my prediction for this game. Guys, if this is your first time coming across my content, or if you are a recurrent viewer, like the video, sub to the channel, you know, share the video, interact with it in the comments. Let's help grow the channel. But yeah, hopefully we're able to get a result and we keep this top four race going. Now, if we get a win against Liverpool, would that mean we're in a title race? Listen, people will say yes. I still don't think we have the defense to be able to compete for a title this season. I think the defense we have right now just gets us through, top four comfortably. But to challenge, you're going to need some seasoned veterans. Like, you're going to need a Van Dijk-esque type of defender. You're going to need like a Diaz when he first came to Man City type of defender. You're going to need a partnership like Saliba and Gabriel. I don't think we have that yet. So I wouldn't say it's title challenge, but top four comfortably, because I think we have the best attack in the league in terms of attacking options, and this is not being delusional. I'm just looking at the options we have, the number of goals these guys have scored, the alterations you can make to the starting 11. You look at the second team. You look at a lot of these other big teams, their second teams. It doesn't look that good. They just not look good, and that's just a fact. You want to say I'm delusional, that's fine. But I think with our attacking quality, we have one of the best in the league, if not the best in the league. So it's not even trying to be like we're better than everyone. No, we can have a better attack than most people, but our defense is not as strong as other teams. And two things can be right two things can be right at one time. So that's just what it's going to be. But hopefully, Sunday we get a good result. We do what we need to do. Get a point, get a win, even better. And God, if we win, I just want to see Don Hossam just being dragged on the timeline, because this guy has had so much smoke this week. It's ridiculous. But I'm going to catch you on the next one.